Hey, Shaq. It's been a while since we sat down here.
I think a couple of months, more than
Oh
that.
my word, I think it was
The Champions League final.
Champions League finals.
Yeah.
I lost taste
Chasing what?
to do this. Reason? Todd Bowley.
And you've been busy too.
Yes, I've been busy with coaching and, getting my teams ready for the season, which
Yeah.
is a different calendar than what it's in Europe here. But even beside that, I think not having that desire again by the reason of what has happened in Chelsea,
Yeah.
because it was overwhelming for me to talk about.
It,
And
it, it actually a lot of happened during the summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
with all the transfers,
Even with Chelsea.
yeah, we brought in lots of players. We brought in lots of players. We brought in
Yeah.
even players that I don't know of. But again, I took out time to watch the preseason games. We when we played against when we played in the Premier League summer series in the US. I watched the games, so I'm quite hopeful.
Right.
Of how the season is
How it
going to
started,
turn
yeah.
out. So
Well, the thing that I would say is the major differentiator is Pochettino, and he has a different mindset, and we've talked about it.
yes, yes.
Chelsea needs a coach that can deal with the famous players.
Definitely, yes. I think I don't have to. I don't want to. I don't know if I should say Poch is the right person
No.
to be at Chelsea. Time will tell.
Right.
But again, he breathes, fresh air into the team. All the things that have happened from Thomas Tuchel to Lampard to the assistant to not before Lampard. What was his name? Graham Potter.
Yeah.
Where no one talks about him now, but all of that.
And Lampard, you mentioned Lampard.
Yes, Lampard. And then two other, I think we had 4 or 5 coaches in one single season.
Yeah.
So, Poch brings fresh air. And then, again, with new ideas of play, which I saw during the
Coach
preseason.
hasn't done coaching for Chelsea before.
No. It was only at Tottenham. He was in Southampton.
Yeah.
And then Tottenham. And then from there, he went to PSG, right?
Right.
And after that, he is at London, in London again with Chelsea. So I am excited to see what this season is going to be.
Yep.
We don't have all those superstar names that we used to have by the reason of the marquee signings we had back then. But
Silva is still in Chelsea, right?
Silva is still in Chelsea. But again, I mean, with all due respect, he's a top player.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah, we have lots to talk about if we start talking about Chelsea. It's
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
guys, it's the new Premier League season. I think this is season 3 of our podcast.
it's been the third
Yes. But again, we're going to talk about what this season is going to look like. We didn't do any transfer updates and all of that stuff. It was overwhelming. Chelsea was splashing money. Almost all the clubs in England were splashing money and trying to get in players. So, I mean, again, in Europe, there's a lot of drama going on. Mbappe with PSG, Messi. Sometime we thought he was going to go back to Barcelona, and now
Yeah.
he's here in the
Yeah.
MLS playing.
I think that's what was the headline. Like these 3-4 players:
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe.
As always, dominating the headlines, right? And but the season has already started. Bayern played their Super Cup today, losing to Leipzig. Did you see Harry Kane? I'm sorry, Harry Kane, but I didn't want to troll him, but I don't know if he's gone there with the Tottenham DNA.
The picture that you showed me was actually that game. Is that
Yes,
true?
it was that game. Yes, he was on the bench because he didn't start.
Right. And that's the game. The goal that you showed me. Was,
Yes, yes,
wow.
yes.
That's a humiliation. I would
Yeah, 3-0. I mean, against Leipzig. No offense to RB Leipzig, but again, I don't know. It's anyway. I'm not going to talk
Is it like their community shield?
Yeah, it's like their
Okay,
community
okay,
shield. Yes,
right.
yeah, that's their community shield. But anyway, guys, let's talk about the Premier League, which is our main focus today. So let's look at the preview. There are three new teams in the Premier League. We have Luton Town, and we have
Burnley.
Sheffield, and
Burnley.
Burnley. Burnley is back to the Premier League. Where they think they belong, time will tell, but I think they will stay this season. They've played good football from last season, topped the table almost for the entire season in the Championship. And kudos to the ex-Manchester City captain, Vincent Kompany.
I mean, it's a bit unfair for them because it's a tough start. You're basically playing champions.
Yeah,
and
it's never.
There was this picture flying around basically saying that the amount of money City invested in their midfielders is more than
it's the whole salary of Burnley. Is the whole price tag of Burnley.
Yeah, I was actually hoping that this is gonna give it a bit of a more challenge to City because he's played with him. He has played under him. But, it's not easy.
Of course, it's never going to be.
Yeah.
I watched the game. They tried. They had opportunities to score, but again, either they are naive, and again playing the champions, and I think they played at home.
They were playing at home.
Yeah, they were playing at home, but it's always a tough start to play against the previous season's champions.
True.
And again, not just any other champion. It is Manchester City of Pep Guardiola. It's not Manchester City of Pellegrini or Mancini. This is Manchester City of Pep Guardiola, which means they still play the same way or maybe even more than they did last season or the last two seasons.
They have so much to play with. And I watched the game. He was struggling with Haaland. So he moved Silva on left side and he plays on right side. Like he switches all the time and he makes sure he just give ball to Haaland, and that's what's challenging. That's
the thing is that with Pep Guardiola, you must have to play to his ideas. Pep is not the coach or the manager that
you have to play his mind.
You have to play his mind.
Of course, you have to play the game, but you have to also play his mind.
His mind, because he has seen that game the way he wants it to be played, and he wants you to play that way for him. If you're not playing, and I think that's why players like Raheem Sterling couldn't stay longer in Manchester City, even though they've won the Premier League there, even though they've scored a couple of goals, but
even though won the title with him.
Yeah, one title with him, but he couldn't play his mind. And when you cannot do that for Pep, you're out of the team. Cancelo, no one will tell me that. I will never believe that Cancelo, 4 players that City had under Pep, would not be a Manchester City right now, or be the first name on the list. Reason? Probably the same.
Not easy.
Anyway, let's look at the preview. We have had games already played. Prior to now, let's look at the new promoted teams. Of all these 3 teams that came up, who do you think will stay?
I haven't had a chance to look into Luton Town, and the other one is Sheffield United.
Sheffield United.
I know about Burnley, and I have read about their players. I think Burnley will stay. Luton Town might stay as well.
Oh.
Sheffield United might not, and then 2 other teams
from
what we have right now might have to relegate.
That's quite surprising that you say that Luton Town will stay. I'm giving them. They are going back to where they come from.
They know. Were they not playing a few years ago?
No.
Okay.
In my knowledge of the Premier League, I've never had Luton Town in Premier League.
This is the first time.
I don't know if this is their first time.
Who was that player? Pookie?
Oh, that was Norwich.
That was Norwich.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But Luton Town will be the whipping team of the Premier League this season. They might cause some few upsets, just like Norwich would do.
And has it happened that someone got promoted and relegated in the next season?
Oh, yeah.
All the time?
Oh, of course it happened.
Okay.
Last season was the only season that the 3 promoted teams stayed.
Yeah. And they fought for it. Yeah.
and they fought for it, and they played better football than those that were there. Leicester went down. Um, who else went down last season?
Um,
Um, Southampton went down.
Leeds.
Leeds United went down.
Yeah.
Those three went down, and it was quite surprising. But again, Leicester is the biggest surprise of all the teams that went down because of their. I'm sure they have a high players' wages,
Leicester is. Oh, not to mention here, they won the Premier League.
and they have won the Premier League
Yeah.
just a couple of years
It's
ago in
like go up and
2016.
down very quickly.
Yes. So anyway, that's so you think Luton will
Yeah.
stay?
What do you think?
I think Luton will go down. I think Everton, if they are not, from what I saw today, they have to buy a centre forward before the transfer market closes. They don't need to wait for Calvin Lewin to be fit to play. Mope is not the striker they need. Mope is not even a centre forward. He's like he can play behind the center forward, from my own, opinion. And from what I saw today against Fulham,
Yeah, we saw the highlights.
they
Yeah.
they they they, they created chances, but they couldn't put them away. And when you don't put away your chances in the Premier League, you will lose games. And the more games you lose, that is your ticket to the championship next season. And that is where I think Everton have to sit up. So I think Everton will struggle to stay up. So I'm going to put them in a category of team that is going to go down. I'm sorry, Everton fans. And I think Luton Town is going down, like as I've just mentioned. And again, I think that either Sheffield United or Bournemouth or Nottingham Forest, of these three teams,
Nottingham Forest can go down.
of these three teams, one of them is going down. And if I will have to select, Nottingham Forest will stay. They've invested a lot of money in their squad. Bournemouth might go down. Sheffield, it's going to be between Bournemouth and Sheffield, the other two teams. So, yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
West Ham last year struggled a lot.
They struggled, but I
They-
think
They made sure a lot in the last few games, but they were down. Not to mention Chelsea was also struggling, but Chelsea never touched their last three. Yeah, so
it's so funny that you're mentioning us as one of the teams, eh?
no, I'm not saying Chelsea would never go down.
Of course, we are never going down.
There's
But guess what? Everton is the only Premier League team that has not played in the lower
Championship.
division.
Well, they have never.
They have never been relegated.
Right.
Everton has never been relegated. They were about to make that history.
Every
last
other team
season.
has been relegated.
Every other team has been
Even
relegated.
Manchester United.
All the teams in the Premier League has been relegated
That's
once.
interesting. I did
before.
not know that.
Only Everton. That was pre-Premier League and now
Or it
in the
could be
Premier League.
They were promoted. I don't think they were like. Do you think Chelsea was relegated?
Chelsea has been relegated before. We're talking about the top flight in England, not
Right.
that. This is before the Premier League was born.
Are you talking about the before?
Before the
okay.
Premier
Okay.
League, yeah,
Okay.
before and now
Right.
with the Premier
Okay,
League.
Then okay.
So
But in the new format of Premier League, I don't.
no. No, Chelsea has not been. Man United has not been. I mean, winning the title 13 times since
Yeah,
1992.
you gotta stay up. Yeah.
So yeah, so now that we think that Luton Town is going to stay up, that's very
I have no idea about
that's
Luton Town. I just took wild guess.
that's delusional, Luton Town
Is it-
fans.
Is it? Why? Because they lost today? Oh, it was 4-1. Okay.
Oh, Brighton battered them, and they're playing. I think they're playing Chelsea next.
Who? Luton Town.
Luton Town. So
Good. No, Chelsea's second game.
yes,
But
their
Chelsea
second
is
game.
playing on.
We're playing. Chelsea plays Liverpool tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, which team? Now we look at we've looked at the relegation threatened or the teams that we believe that are going down.
Mm-hmm.
Who finishes in the top four for you?
I will surprise you. I think this year might be City on top. Second will be Newcastle. Third can be Arsenal. Fourth, I don't know. Fourth can be Manchester United or Chelsea.
Oh my word.
Oh, Newcastle is going up.
Yeah, you mentioned Newcastle to finish second,
Yes,
Arsenal to finish third,
third. Yes, Ars-
and
I
then
don't see the same Arsenal anymore. Like
City
I know
and
it's still very early in the season,
yeah.
but I remember it was a different team that had spark.
I mean, remember they have some one or two new players.
Right.
Thomas Partey was playing, I think, right back today. I don't know why
Yeah, and he switched because it wasn't working. He had to move back.
to the middle.
Middle and who is Ben White? He's
Yeah,
back because he likes to run and do the passes
overlap. Yeah,
overlap. Thomas Partey does not.
of course he's a sitting holding
Yeah,
midfielder. You
yeah.
don't expect him to be.
So, but I don't understand why did he do
I
that?
have no idea. Maybe there were some injury worries in the team prior to the game because Gabriel was on the bench.
Right. Yeah.
Ben White was playing right center back with Saliba, and that pushed Thomas Partey to play as a right back.
I don't think he
I
has never actually. He's a center midfielder.
He's a central midfielder. I think the most I've seen him play in a defensive position would be as a center back.
Right.
But for him to play as a right back, anyway, only him knows what he was thinking
Yeah, I
of.
think he's experimenting.
Except there was an injury scare for maybe one of the defenders that made him. But anyway, enough of Arsenal because I'm not interested in their success. but but yeah,
What about you?
for me,
What do you
I think Chelsea should win the Premier League.
Okay.
I don't want Manchester City to win this Premier League again because that will be the first time ever a team is going to win the Premier League 4 times in a row. This becomes child's play, and I do not want that to happen. So I'm not
But they
considering.
still have Haaland.
I'm not considering whether they have Haaland and maybe Haaland's brother and maybe Haaland's cousin. I don't consider. I don't want Manchester City to win the league.
Okay, that's what you want.
And that's what I want.
Yeah,
And
but
that
what's-
is what I'm going to predict. That
Right.
Manchester City will not finish first in the league.
Okay.
Chelsea will win the league.
Well, let's talk about that tomorrow after the game. But no, Chelsea is better.
Again, we don't have any pressure.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We're not in the Europa League. We're not in the Champions League. We're not in the Conference League. That's fine. And then even at
Arsenal
that,
did not. Well, Arsenal did have that.
even at that, the most talented central midfielder in England wants to play for us. Moises Caicedo wants to play for Chelsea, even though we're not in Europe.
Maybe he likes London more than the club.
I mean, he plays for Brighton. Brighton is in London.
It's borderline London. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We were able to secure some of the top players,
That's
top
for sure.
young
No,
players, top
I
young
agree.
players.
Yes.
So we're going to fight for the Premier League. That's for sure. My only concern will be a little bit in our centre back positions right now. We don't have. I mean, I'm not expecting Thiago Silva to play 38 games in the season.
No, that's
I'm
not
not expecting that. But when he's not on the pitch, what happens? Because Fofana, Wesley Fofana, is injured and will be recovering from his injury. I think he had a surgery. Levi Colwill, that was on loan to Brighton last season, is back in the team and he's staying. So who else will be the experienced centre back we have? We don't really have experience in our back line.
You also lost Kovacic,
Kovacic went to Man City,
who is
so
in the center.
we have a bunch of young kids in the middle.
Yeah,
So
but
let's see.
Center midfielder
Yeah.
is actually better if you have an experience.
Yes, but let's see if they're going to put in some work, because again, it will have to demand a lot of work, running, and all of that. So we're going to see tomorrow against Liverpool if
Is it a home game for Chelsea? No.
I think we are. Yes, we're playing at the Bridge. Yes, we're playing at the Bridge.
Okay.
So we're going to see how that will happen. I mean, Liverpool also, their midfield is taking a new shape since Henderson and Fabinho has gone. and
Musala is still there, right? Yeah.
Mo Salah is still there. But again, the midfield, you know, but I think they have more experienced players than us in the midfield, especially Premier League experience too. So, but we will see how that. Again, it's first game of the season. Even if we tie or lose to Liverpool, which I don't think we'll lose to Liverpool, but I think we'll get a result.
What happened last year? I think Chelsea lost both games
A lot of teams
against
did.
Liverpool. I'm
A
talking
lot
about
of a
Liverpool.
lot of teams did us double last season. So that's why we finished where we finished. But again, Chelsea champions, Manchester City second,
Okay.
Manchester United third, Newcastle fourth, Arsenal fifth.
Okay.
So that's my that's my
And
prediction.
I am also basing my analysis on there's this website, theanalyst.com.
Yeah,
They do like supercomputer predictions,
yeah.
and it says Manchester City. Actually, it says Arsenal second, but I think Arsenal is not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, again, I would go by by my instincts,
Yeah.
by my wishes for
And being a
Chelsea to
Chelsea fan,
win.
yeah.
Yes, to be a Chelsea fan, I cannot be saying, "Oh, Arsenal will finish above
No,
Chelsea."
I'm an Arsenal
not it.
fan. But I still think it's
No, whatever,
gonna be
man.
tough.
You're wearing Real Madrid shirt. That's
It
I,
doesn't matter.
and then like this guy is an Arsenal fan. Anyway, champions. You said Manchester City will be your champion. I think Chelsea will win the league.
Okay.
Yes, I think.
It's just like how many months we have to wait? Like 9, 10 months.
Between now and December, we'll find out
Yeah,
how we're going.
December gives you a better.
I mean, again, we'll not do like Arsenal. Arsenal is the only team that has stayed in that top number one spot
Yeah.
for
80% of the
80% of the season, and they still bottled it.
Yeah.
And they still bottled it. Anyway, that's up to them. Now, look at the games that we have that has already been played. Burnley lost to Man City.
Yeah.
Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest.
Yeah,
That was a very tough game towards the end.
Yeah, I don't know what it was again. Like Arsenal, I watched the entire season last year, and they used to score in the last first 10, 15, 20
Yeah.
minutes. They did score in the 25th minute, but the effort was not like the playing style is not the same. It took him longer, and then like it wasn't easy. I don't know if you remember, it was the trick thing that helped Arsenal get a goal more
Yeah.
than the passing thing. So I think they're still like trying to figure out their new formation with Kai, and I think Kai does not move. Kai does not move at all. I don't know. I'm a little bit scared about him. Even in the Community Shield game, he wasn't
Yeah.
that good. No.
I don't know. I don't know what Arteta saw in Kai Havertz and brought him in. It's good for Kai. He can go there. He's off our back. He's off our payroll. He can go there, do whatever he wishes to do. But again, I think Arsenal were missing their top mask man, which is who is Gabriel Jesus. So he brings a different dimension in the
does.
attack. It's fast paced. He presses. He works hard. He bullies defenders. That you will not get with Kai. That you will not get with Edin Ketia. So I think that's what maybe was missing in their game
Yeah.
today.
And also, Kai has already missed few chances. He hasn't finished it. So
I'm glad he did that. I mean, no offense, but that's Arsenal. It's not personally on the player, but because he's wearing an Arsenal shirt, so they could miss a lot of those chances, and I'll be okay. Brighton, Luton, Brighton. I watched this game because I had some Brighton players in my fantasy team. It was not bad. Brighton has continued. So when you watch Brighton, you see consistency from last season. That is one thing that I think will get them far. Even though they do not have the player that Chelsea wants to buy, Moises Caicedo, but
he did not play today.
he did not play. He was not even on the bench because maybe the deal is already
Right.
it's almost done. But you will still see their consistency in play from the back to the middle, from the goalkeeper to the back line to the middle and to the forward line.
Which explains, I think their coaching is very
Yeah, the Zerbi I mean,
disciplined.
I remember when he was in Sassuolo in Italy and then he went to Shakhtar Donetsk In Sassuolo, I enjoyed the game he played, how he planted his team. He challenged the big boys a lot, even though there was not much success. But you could see his idea, you could see the approach he has towards the game. And again, it's been seen in Brighton. Brighton lost Graham Potter, but it's as if he was not even there before.
Yeah, I think it's more too about their culture, inside culture, like management. It's I think they're very disciplined in every aspect of their
Yes,
like
yeah.
management. Um, I did they finish in the top six last year?
Yeah,
They're playing
yeah, they're playing
European.
Europa League
Okay.
this season. So that's also going to put a strain on the squad. Because again, some of these teams, West Ham is in the Europa League.
But you know West Ham was this disciplined 2 years ago. Remember they were like so good at like set piece from the corners.
Yeah.
They like mastered it, and the next season they were almost relegating. So
I think playing in Europe, again, there's a difference between the
true.
clubs, culture and experience of playing in Europe and playing in the Premier League. So when you play in Europe, there's a divided attention. So like, what do I focus on? It's only the big boys that has the strength and the depth to be able to play in both competitions
Right.
and are still able to win it. Manchester City is a prime example. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup.
Yeah, because it's a lot of traveling, and you have the title pressure, and then you have to win the Champions League
Yeah,
pressure and everything. And it's Champions League is actually more stressful because you have to play
with the
home and then away, and
yeah,
then
top
traveling.
teams.
I think that game can be is in the middle of the week, so you have to play
Yes,
2 games a
midweek.
week. Yeah. So
And I think again, well, because they do not have that experience, West Ham, that was why they really, really struggled in the Premier League last season.
right.
And maybe playing that, playing in those two competitions last season, would be experience for them to be able to do
Yeah.
the same in Europa League this season. Now, Brighton may suffer what West Ham suffered last season. Either their Premier League status will be threatened, or maybe they can still come through. But again, where do you draw the
Were they number
line?
6 or number 5?
I think they finished sixth.
Who's 5? I
I
think
can't
it
remember.
was Newcastle is playing Champions League this year, right?
Newcastle Champions League, Man
Manchester
City,
United.
Arsenal, Man United.
I think 5th was Fulham. No.
I don't know. I don't care, man. I don't really care. Chelsea was not there.
Why don't you name the podcast Chelsea fan?
I mean, again, why can't I talk about Chelsea? Anyway, yeah. So the full results came up. Aston Villa were humiliated by Newcastle today.
they were.
That was the star game of the weekend. I mean, for today, because the star game of the weekend is tomorrow between Chelsea and Liverpool. But I did not expect Aston Villa to be humiliated this way. They made lots of mistakes. There was low energy in the team. They were not pushing. Aston Villa played a different game, and I think they're in Europe this season. I can't remember if they are in Europe this season. But yeah, what's the way they
Still
played
have that
today?
same coach, right?
Yeah, Unai Emery.
Emery,
Yeah,
yeah.
they still have him. They lost Tyrone Mings to a very bad injury.
Aston Villa did 1-1, right? And then this conceded.
Yeah, they
two
did
goals.
1-1.
So I
Yes.
don't know what was going on.
Yeah, they tied. After
30 minutes, I guess.
it was even less than that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like almost 2 minutes or less
Oh,
than 2
really?
minutes between the two goals. It was less than 2 minutes between the two goals.
Yeah, Aston Villa is the kind of team who scores a lot of goals.
Yes,
And
they
late
do.
goals, they can do
Yes, they do. They have a very good striker, Oli Watkins. But I don't know what happened today. Defensively, they were shambolic.
Yeah,
They were
the-
shambolic in
Yeah,
the defense.
The defense line was everywhere. Like,
They made silly mistakes. Why can't you just one of the goals, the best goal of the game that was scored by Isaac?
the chip.
Yeah, the chip. He was from a goal.
And he didn't even I think he wasn't even sure that it was gonna go inside the goal.
He was not even sure that he was going to get the ball because the defender
Yeah.
was in front. And then the defender whether he wanted to dribble, took his eyes off the ball, missed it. The guy just
Yeah.
picked it up.
Yeah, no communication. I think there was no
Yeah,
communication.
that's lack of
Yeah.
communication. That is very much a prime example of lack of communication between the defender and the goalkeeper. Because again, the goalkeeper could have said something, either to get the pass,
Yeah.
because he could, because the defender was in between the ball, was in between the attacker and the ball, so he could have just played it back to the goalkeeper, who can then clear it. There was another silly mistake that they made. Instead of switching play, they went back to the same zone where the ball was coming from. They considered from there, or I think they got a corner kick. They were just terrible. But again, I think maybe they will learn from that as their first game of the season against a team that is growing stronger and stronger. Newcastle is a threat, but we'll find how strong they are next week because they play Manchester City.
Yeah, and I put them in second. Remember,
Yes. So your potential first and second
it will be
team
tested next
will be
week.
testing themselves next week. Or we didn't even mention Liverpool as a top 4 team.
It is funny, yeah. I think Liverpool they were trying to just get Casino, and they haven't done any business.
They just came into last minutes
Yeah.
to get Caicedo, but Caicedo said he wants
Liverpool
to go
do
to Chelsea.
have good players because they invested, but I don't know if Nunez
I-
is gonna actually
Yeah.
start scoring goals or have chemistry.
Exactly.
They don't have this. They have Nunez and they have who's that young guy, Jota.
Diogo
Yeah,
Jota.
they still have that.
Yeah. And they have Mo Salah.
Mo Salah. I mean, he scored a lot of goals last year.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
If you
help us.
provide him the right assist, he will score goals.
Liverpool did come up, right?
Yes,
I
they
think
did. They picked
come
up.
fast.
They left Chelsea behind because
Yeah.
at some point they were 11,
I
Chelsea
think
was 12.
Isn't Liverpool, I think, finished fifth.
I think, yes, Liverpool
Yeah,
finished
yeah.
5th, so they are playing Europa League.
Yeah.
See how fast we forgot about
Yeah.
Liverpool. I'm sorry, Liverpool fans, but that's how bad the season was for Liverpool because that was below their standard. So, but again, so do you think they will not finish in top 4?
This year competition.
I
is
think
tough.
Arsenal will not finish in top 4.
No?
Mark my word. Arsenal will not
Okay.
finish in top 4. Arsenal will not finish top 4. I still say Chelsea will win the league. City will come second. And, you know,
The problem with you saying Chelsea, I understand you being a fan, but Chelsea does not have any like. Do they have a famous player?
no, we don't. But that could be the stimulus.
No,
That
City
that
did not work that way. City did not start ground up. I think winners though does not.
we have a coach that has Premier League experience.
Sure.
That's number one.
Yeah.
And we have some players that have Premier League experience. Some, not all. Okay, the goalkeepers have Premier League experience. Maybe Kepa is going to go to Real Madrid on loan, and then we have Robert Sanchez that came from Brighton,
Sure.
who is also a very good player with his feet, not just with hands. And then you have Rhys James, our new captain. You know, fun fact: John Terry was 23 years old when he became Chelsea captain, and we won the league.
Right.
Rhys James is 23 years old.
Yeah.
He's now the Chelsea captain.
Oh, there's so many things
we will
like
win
that.
the league. Anyway,
There was this-
that's a fun fact.
Yeah.
But I don't see Man United. I don't know what's you know. There are teams that when you see them on paper, you know that they are threatening, right? I don't really. It's only Man City you see that in because of Haaland, because of the players they have, because of the coach they have. But the rest maybe will play catch up against Man City. Even though I want Chelsea to win the league, even though I'm putting Chelsea above Man City to win the league. But again, that'll be that. Anyway, as we come to the end of this, let me ask you tomorrow's game. Brentford plays a London derby with
That's a good
Tottenham.
game. That's a good game.
Yes, but they don't have their star striker.
They don't have their start.
He is banned from playing.
Oh, you're talking about Brentford.
No, Brentford, yeah, they don't have their star striker, Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney is
He's banned for betting,
betting.
for breaking
I
betting
thought you were
rules.
saying about Tottenham.
No.
They don't have their starting.
Oh, Tottenham is bare naked now.
Yeah.
But they have Son. Son is their new captain.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Who is
again,
their keeper? Still,
I don't know who's their keeper now. Because I think Hugo Lloris has left or
I think
something.
he's left. Yeah.
Because if Son is the captain, then Hugo Lloris has left.
Yeah.
He left. His contract was not renewed after it
I
expired.
think
So
Tottenham is in shambles.
They signed some players. I would see they have a new coach who has no Premier League experience.
Isn't it that the second coach became first coach?
No, that one was fired.
Okay.
But the one they have right now came from Celtic.
Right. Well,
Anje
yeah.
Postecoglou,
I
Greek
know.
Australian.
Right.
So, yeah. So, what do you think? Brentford?
for sure. Yeah.
Brentford
Yeah.
beating Tottenham?
I think Tottenham has the capacity to come back later in the game.
Yeah.
They've done it before. I mean, they have it's in their DNA. But I think Brentford home game, Brentford will be very good. I think it'll
Yeah,
be like
they are strong. They are strong at home.
4-1, 4-2,
Yeah,
something like that.
I remember what they did to Man United last season.
Yeah.
First game, 4-1.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Liverpool.
I don't know
Why did you laugh?
because it's difficult to actually guess. I would give it to Chelsea.
I'm giving it to Chelsea, whether you like it or not.
But I think Chelsea plays still very slow game.
So
it's gonna be like
you did not see us in the preseason, so maybe that's why
No,
you
I
think
haven't.
we played a
I think
slow game.
I do remember watching the goals, but I did not see the game.
Yeah, I think we have fast players again.
No,
but
it's not about fast players. I'm talking about like
the tempo the team plays
tempo.
on.
You play a lot back passes, and then you keep.
I
the
don't
ball
think
with
that's
you.
going to be the case this season. Again, one thing that will happen tomorrow is that we have a lot of unknown players.
Okay, so it's,
And that
you
could
find
be
out
that yes, that could be headache for Liverpool. Because when you have a lot of unknown
you
players,
don't know what.
you don't know what they're going to do. And if they are hungry to impress the coach,
Yeah.
impress the club, fans, and also want to really succeed as Chelsea or as Chelsea players, then we'll be in for a good treat of football tomorrow. So, but again, I'm giving Chelsea the win against Liverpool. The worst case scenario is that it's going to be a tie, and then
Yeah.
both parties would just like 1 point each. Man United Wolves.
Wolves have a new coach. Did they do business? Wolves.
I
They
don't.
sold
I
the
don't.
players
They
to Saudi
sold their
Arabia.
striker. They sold Adama Traore.
Yeah. And the guy who went to Saudi Arabia.
And yeah, their best midfielder,
Yeah.
Ruben Neves,
Yeah.
went to Saudi.
So I don't know.
So
I've no.
Man United is winning that game without any shadow of doubt.
There's
No,
doubt. Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes will score a free kick. He's on my fantasy team.
And De Gea is still in.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Who is their new keeper?
Onana.
Oh,
Andrea
Onana,
Onana
right.
from
I
Inter.
think Manchester has this potential.
I think he was injured for that first game, so he might maybe the backup keeper either
injured?
Heaton Onana. I think he got injured in maybe the preseason game.
Right.
But yeah, either the backup keeper Heaton or what's he called? The other one, Dean Henderson, might be in goal. But anyway, that's all we have for now. Wow, how time just flew by talking
Yeah.
about these teams.
I mean, we tried
But
to compact it, but still,
it was a lot
so
to
much
talk
to
about.
talk about.
Yeah, and forgive me, I could talk about Chelsea all day long, but we'll reserve that to next time when we come back in episode 2 of season 3. Thank you very much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Up the Chelsea, down Arsenal. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on.